Hi, everybody. This is Karen. I just want to share a few thoughts with you about this week's readings and supporting our students through patterns and anticipation. I want to share a short anecdote with you. Today, I took my son downtown Mexico City. We're on vacation this week, and we needed to go buy something. And the way downtown Mexico is organized for some reason is there are different sections or different streets that sell certain kinds of things. So if I want to buy, for example, I don't know, stationery, paper, school supplies, that is going to be in one certain section downtown. And another section you might find, you're going to find electricity, things for perhaps putting up lamps in your house, stuff like that. Today we went to the bike section, which is about 5 or 6 blocks of bikes. And the way this is arranged, and people know this, and you ask someone, oh, where can I buy this? And they'll tell you. I think it really allows us to plan for what we're going to do, what we need to do, how we can get there, what we need, etc. And I relate this to this week's readings about patterns and anticipation because we were able to plan for this day and know more or less how much time we needed, more or less how much money we had to bring with us, because we had already been there several times, and so we knew where it was located, and there wasn't this anxiety about, I'm not going to find what I'm looking for. And I think this is something that I found very valuable from the readings, is giving our students these kind of tips and visual cues really helps them through the course. It helps them plan their time, well, maybe budget their time, and just organize their lives around so many different things that they have to do, the same way we have to organize our lives around what we're doing in this course. So I found that was really valuable from these readings. I really like in these courses that we're taking that we have the list of tasks at the beginning. Actually, I don't usually look at the video first. I go to the tasks because I know that that's there, and it gives me at a glance, I can see this. I started this about a year ago. I wasn't used to that kind of structure, and when it was new to me, I had sort of maybe a time where I had to sort of adjust to that and get used to that. But now that I'm used to sort of this pattern, it really does help me. Because I know where to find things. And I'm probably one of those people who is also guilty of not reading everything. So at least in one sitting, maybe over several different days, I'll read something. But having those tasks and the list, the checklist at the beginning is very helpful to me. And I hadn't thought very much about how we are reading. But I think that is something that is really important that this Lemieux Spiegel mentions. And the failure that she had in her course made her think about what was happening. And I think that is really important because we tend to be now very multitask. We're doing so many things at the same time. We manage family, we manage work, we manage on online course, and so we're really looking for what is the most essential thing, what is the bottom line that I need to know here, because I don't have a lot of time maybe to read all this. And this has really made me reflect about some of the courses that I have designed and that I give. Is there should be a greater emphasis on that and different forms of media and input that are available to the students. So making available a video that is perhaps like in our course where it's a recap and it's a preview to the next week's activities. The checklist, I think, is also a very important tool. We do use icons in our course, and I do think this does help students. We have things for You have to write in the discussion forum, or you have to put this in your file folder, or you have to put this up to the gallery, etc. And there's an email, or you have to see a video. So we do have some of these elements. However, our course tends to be very text-based because the platform, which is a free platform that we developed at the university, or the engineers developed, tends to be very square, very rigid, not very flexible. I cannot upload videos per week. Students cannot embed videos. I can't renew content so spontaneously, which is a real disadvantage. So I'm sort of caught between, what is it, a rock and a hard place, where, okay, this sounds really good, but I have certain limitations about what I can do. So this is something that probably I will have to talk to the administration about, making some changes to allow for greater flexibility in being able to put up videos. And I think those kind of things will also allow for greater social presence. It will also, I would hope, allow students to budget and to plan better and probably be more successful in their online courses. The forum we have is also very, very old. You cannot thread the discussions. You have to go one by one to the threads, so it's very uncomfortable and very time consuming. So this is another good argument to bring up to them. And the fact that it is text-based makes me think about this first article that we read, is that, okay, so if people are not reading the same, then we need to be catering to their needs and making things easier for them to access and to get done. The other reading, what I was thinking about is, it's from 2002, which isn't that old, but at the same time, I wonder how many things have changed, because it talks about how students' anticipation and anxiety has to do with the beginning of an online course. And they're saying, well, I want the content available a month before or a week before. And I'm wondering, with the demands on people's time today, if they really honestly have time to do that. I don't have time to do that. And for the way people and the way we are sort of immersed in social media and our cell and all of these things, I just wonder if this is still sort of the real picture. Is it telling us the real picture? There are some things I would agree with in the article, that the content is very important. It's very important for the teacher to be present, and to be present as a resource. And in that sense, I think the teacher has to be very approachable. And so the student can say, okay, if I have a question, they are there and they are available and they're going to help me. I do agree with that. I also agree with one of her conclusions about engagement evolving over time. And that is very true. It is not the same to be in week 1 of a course, to be in week 5 and week 10, etc., or even being in a series of courses over the period of a year. And I think that is also a very important point that we should take into account. The last thing I want to say about this article about from Conrad is, she doesn't say that what she found was that social presence was very important in these courses. What was much more important was the interaction with the content and the clarity of the content and the instructions for the learners. But I wonder, If we're talking, if this is from 2002, 14 years later, I kind of wonder if social presence isn't more important now, and it isn't something that we should be striving a little bit more to include. I do remember Jennifer saying that a lot of her students say, okay, yeah, I'm not really interested in interacting, just give me the content. And that's valid, and I can see, especially for busy people, that they're just interested in, okay, just give me the content. But there are other learners that are really going to want to interact, and they're going to want to be doing knowledge building through discussion. Maybe not in that conscious way, but they're going to be saying, okay, I'm going to push back on what that person says, or maybe I agree, maybe I disagree, and that's when interesting things come out. So I think the articles give some good tips, but I think sometimes maybe we need to keep doing research. And the other thing is we also have to think about what limitations we have and see what we can ask from our administrators. Thank you.